but I didn't know if you'd like it enough, so I decided to do the encore first. The encore is from a musical review, which was almost done in Minnesota this November, except that the producer came down with a terminal illness and had to drop out of the show. It's the same review that Steve Sweet and I were going to be putting on in New York, and it got a little bit off the ground, but not quite off the ground. So since Steve isn't going to be here now, I thought I'd open it. Oh, I should explain what the review is. A professional would do that, wouldn't he? This is a musical review. Get in your mind a cross between Forbidden Broadway, which you all know about, and The Capitol Steps, which some of you know about. So it's a social, political review. And this particular song is an updated version of a Cole Porter song called Let's Do It. In fact, it's a little more updated today than it was yesterday. Birds do it, bees do it, even educated fleas do it. Let's do it. The chimpanzees in the zoos do it. Some courageous kangaroos do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Well, it should come as no news that courageous kangaroos are the only ones who would use what they got to be sure that they do not end up lonely ones. Mr. Porter may seize all the birdies and the bees, their top drawer, but there's more to the list. For a chorus or two, may I mention just a few he missed. The social climbing elite do it. Certain ladies on the street do it. Let's do it. Let's fall in love. Wives dressed in black from Nyack do it. Hackers back in Hackensack do it. Let's do it. Let's fall in love. Oh, by and by, Princess Di does it. Now that she's on her own, Charles on the sly does it. All he needs is a phone. Some folks you'd never suspect do it. Even the politically correct do it. Let's do it. Let's fall in love. At this point, there's a dance break. I'd asked Mary Rosen to perform. Here she is. Do the choreography. That's it. You know Dan Quayle, without fail, does it. Says so right in his book. Heidi Fleiss on plush percale does it. Hard copies planning a look on Halloween. Trick or treats do it. When the market rallies, even sweets do it. Let's do it. Let's fall in love. In private life, Yeltsin's wife does it. Lorena Bobbitt with a knife does it. Let's do it. Let's fall in love. Madonna swears that she must do it. She tells all her friends to just do it. Let's do it. Let's fall in love. Religious sects on the right do it. It's a second career. Robert Dole says he might do it. Check back early next year. Bisecting graphs on a grid, do it. Clinton still maintains he never did. Do it. Let's do it. Let's fall in love. Thank you very much. Now, the next two songs are from a musical that I wrote a few years back. Like most of my projects, it got about halfway finished. But these are two of the songs which I liked a lot. This musical has as its leading characters Sula and Abraham, and the story of how they came to settle in Kansas City. And the two supporting characters are Sula's daughter Betty and her boyfriend Jay. And I'm very glad to do these particular two songs because they're the two songs that involve Betty and Jay. And there are a lot of people in this room who are here primarily because of Uncle Jay, biologically. But I don't know if a lot of you folks know this, but I am here because of Uncle Jay's healing power. I was very, very ill around 1972. In 1971, I got too sick to stay in California. I came back home, and no one knew what was wrong. And Uncle Jay just took over, and I was well 6 weeks later. So I would probably not be here if it weren't for him. So I'd like to do these two songs. These two songs both take place in Act 2 of the musical. It's loosely based on the truth, some of which was corroborated by Aunt Betty. In this particular song, Jay has fallen in love with Betty, who comes from a very poor family, and Jay's father, Pete Rosen, disapproves of this and tries to buy him off in this song. I originally wrote the song in this key, and now I'm doing it in this one. There are certain things that experience brings, and a father can give you advice on. Never mind the wife. There are some things in life that you simply cannot put a price on. And of all of the things that there is nothing so pure as a man and his car. Is there anything that's sweller than the picture of a fella in his Oldsmobile? Not a Dodge, but an Oldsmobile of his very own. Looking debonair and classy, sun reflecting off the chassis of an Oldsmobile. When you're riding behind that wheel, you are never alone. Young girls are a dime a dozen. No need to worry if you lose just one. Someone always has a cousin ready and willing to show you some fun along a highway wending toward a happy little ending in your Oldsmobile, your convertible Oldsmobile. But don't get me wrong, women go great with some songs and wine. Keep them in style and you'll keep them in line. For a weekend or two they will do you just fine. But an Oldsmobile with proper maintenance, an Oldsmobile will last your whole life long. You remember that song? I know you heard it once, a long time ago. But you never heard this one, because this song hadn't been written then. This is a couple of scenes later. I think you probably all know this. Jay doesn't take his father's advice and proposes to Betty in this song. You will always be the one for me, the one great love I know. Everything I do for you to prove I love you so. With your hand inside my hand, what is there to understand? Lead me on my way and day by day, wherever you go. Place your hand inside my hand, nothing more to understand. foremost, I write songs, as you know. And I generally have springboards, I generally have committees, there's all different ways to write, and it's a process. So my collaborators on this, although they didn't actually do any of the writing, were Alan and Bonnie Sweet, Helen Sweet, Stephen Sweet in a way, and Bruce and Sharon Donnelly. This way, if you don't like the song, there's a lot more of them than there is of me. But this song is for you. We had a scheme to do something for you, Betty. We all wanted to, Betty. And as we thought it all through, the whole thing just grew into this to-do. So get ready, Betty. Look around everywhere. You've got lots of mishpacha to spare. Some came east, some came west. Seems like everything's coming up Rosen's. Why this fuss? What's the deal? Could it be that they came for the meal? No, there's more. Have you guessed just why everything's coming up Rosen? 80 already, and she still looks the same, holding steady. Just what's the secret of Betty? Check her out. There she sits, she's the one next to Isidore Ritz. She's the cream, she's the crest, she's supreme, she's the best. So why not gather Rosens while ye may? This time everything's coming up. Rosens and Zemmels too, Greenbergs and Goldbergs and Sweets, just to name a few. Berkses and Singers and Crouches and Garretsons. Everything's coming up. Steyers and Donnellys, two kinds of Friedmans and all kinds of families. Everything's coming up. Rosens for Betty today.
Thank you, Jim. There is no more program. We really are happy that everybody was here today. I hope you enjoyed yourselves.